السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. Today, inshallah, we will be talking about the fall of the Islamic Caliphate or the Islamic Empire and the banishing of Sharia as a ruling system. سقوط الخلافة الإسلامية وتعطيل الشريعة كنظام حكم. Islam is 1,400 years old now. Over the first 13 centuries, Islam was dominant and Sharia was the ruling system within the Islamic world. And that was obviously due to the commitment of the Islamic caliphs and Muslim rulers in terms of referring to the divine law of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as a constitution and a governing system. In addition to the great efforts of the Muslim scholars in terms of enriching the Islamic jurisprudence or the Islamic legislation system and also establishing the Islamic doctrines until Sharia has become something banished as a constitution and as a ruling or governing system. Two major incidents or events were antecedents or have contributed to the banishing of Sharia as a ruling and governing system within the Islamic world. The first one is the fall of Andalusia, and the second is the fall of the Ottoman Empire. It has been previously mentioned that Andalusia is the nowadays Spain, Portugal, and some parts of France and Morocco, or what is now known as the Iberian Peninsula. Andalusia used to be one of the most important bases of the Islamic Empire. It has experienced a great and immense cultural and scientific advancements during the periods in which the Muslims ruled the region. Muslims ruled the region of Andalusia for nearly 800 years. That is 8 centuries in total. One of the famous cities of the Andalusia state used to be Cordoba or Cordoba, Ishbilia or Sevilla, and also Granada, which is Granada. All these cities are very common and popular nowadays, especially for those who follow the Spanish La Liga. The fall of Andalusia was due to the fall of Granada, and as mentioned earlier, Granada used to be one of the most important cities of the Andalusia Islamic state, and it has felt by the hands of the Crusades in year 1492, that is during the 15th century. Therefore, the Muslims lost one of the most important cities and one of the most important bases of the Islamic Empire. The second incident is the fall of the Ottoman Caliphate or the Ottoman Empire. The fall of Andalusia was not the end of the Islamic Caliphate or the Islamic Empire, but it was a reason for Muslims losing the dominance of the Andalusia region and the Christians or the Europeans taking over. The Ottomans remained dominant after the fall of Andalusia, and they have ruled the world, especially from the eastern part of the world, nearly 200 years after the fall of the Andalusia. Unfortunately, in 1922, that is 1 century ago, the Ottoman Empire also fell by the hands of the Western coalition after the end of the First World War. The falling of the Ottoman Empire marked the end of the dominance of the Muslims, and it also marked the end of the Islamic Caliphate. And the Caliphate system, especially in the Ottoman region, which is the nowadays Turkey, was suspended and also replaced by the current Republic of Turkey. And the first person who ruled the Republic of Turkey, the nowadays Republic of Turkey, after the end or the fall of the Ottoman Empire used to be Mustafa Kemal Atatürk. And the man has damaged Islam severely and caused lots of harm towards Islam and the Muslims. In the end, the then scholars even issued a collective fatwa that Mustafa Kemal Atatürk is considered as a murtad, somebody or someone who has committed blasphemy due to his negative impact on Islam and Muslims. The fall of Andalusia, then followed by the fall of the Ottoman Empire, in addition to the suspension of the Islamic Caliphate system, has negatively impacted the Islamic Ummah. One of those negative impacts is the disintegration of the Islamic world into small and minor states, each state being independent from the other. Secondly, is the Western control over the Islamic world or the Islamic countries, and the Western interference in the affairs of those Islamic countries, especially in terms of ruling and governance. The third negative impact, which is the worst, is the disabling of Sharia as a constitution and as a ruling and governing system by replacing it with democracy, secularism, and the nowadays ruling systems or methodologies. وصلى الله على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا مباركا فيه والحمد لله رب العالمين.